this is Empower. It's been a long time and I'll be back. And today I want to show you the scene and performance modes. I was asked for this and let's go. Okay, the first thing you have to know is to enter the scene or the performance mode edit section, you have to press long time on this, and then the first scene starts to log. And you see there is the scenes you have selected and how many logs you already have. There are a limitation in both modes for 48 parameters you can log. The same is at the performance mode. The main difference between them is you select one scene and everything changed to the setup of parameter you have chosen. And in the performance mode, there are sensitive, so you can slowly switch to these parameters. And if you go away with your fingers, then everything returns to the original sound you set up in this track. So if you want to start to use the scene, you are in the edit mode, hold long scene, and then I have here the synth. And maybe we can make it in the scene that it has another tune. Maybe this is 48. Just keep it 3 notes up. And yeah, let's have, maybe it's a little bit longer here. And more overdrive, a little bit more reverb. And then we have a scene. If you are ready, just press again scene and you're out of the edit mode. And you see it's unactivated and here it's activated. So it's always when you're out of the scene, you had an activated scene. Let's have a listen. There is slightly a difference between the notes. You can dramatically change everything you want if you, of course, a limitation of the 48 parameters. So if you choose your tracks, just press track and the track you want to edit in the edit mode. So if you choose track 1, maybe that's a kick, and you want to change them in scene 1 and pitch it up for, I don't know, 12, and maybe the hi-hats become very long. Yeah, creativity is there has no limits. And maybe here is another stuff, more reverb, more delay, and it maybe sounds very shitty. Oh, I have a sample on the track 1, so that's my fault. So if I got here and you have a tuning here on this to that and you don't use that, that doesn't matter. So So that's an idea how it works with scenes. And with the performance, it's very the same. You just hold performance, select the new performance pad you want to edit, and then you choose your track with the track button, any track you want to edit. So maybe there is also the kick, that's very drastic change. You choose the source, tuning up, sample, tuning up. So if you change these parameters, you will see it shows only the difference, but it doesn't matter. If you are set up 127 or 24, it doesn't make any difference to the sound. It's always swaps as high as it can, even if the parameter has only 24 steps. Keep this in mind. This parameter, I'm out of the performance mode. So if you're set up to 127, it doesn't matter. Okay, and that's how the performance mode work. and the scene modes. And now I will show you ideas how I use performance and scene modes in this case. In this track, I only use performance modes, and in a different track, I will show you how I use scenes. And most of the time, that's only a few ideas. You can all your ideas you want to. So in this track, if you change in the edit mode, you see I have always here on the clap and the hi-hats, there's on every one is, maybe change this, is the reverb increased. So you see this blinking on the FX button. I also have on this pad a parameter on the FX, and it's here the low pass filter, which increases, and the decay. So everything is sent to the reverb, and the reverb becomes more longer. And on this we have also something like that. It's on the delay, more feedback on the delay. The high pass filter on the delay cuts more low frequencies. And on this I have only this track set up. There is more delay, more reverb, and more decay on the synth in this track. And here is more decay on the synth engine. So everything is a little bit longer, so you can hear more of the synth in a longer time. So let's have a listen out of the edit mode and... On this pad I have set up the kick, and it switches the filter to another filter type and set up different settings. And if you see, it's an envelope on this. This is closed because I don't need the envelope, and the filter switches to another parameter. So I have here the frequency settings on 80, and for high pass filter it's better than become more on a lower setting. So I have more of the kick but no bass. Later in this video I will jam with this setup, and then you can hear how it works in a live situation. Another thing that's only special of the MK2 of the analog rhythm, it's this quick performance amount. So you can see you have another button for the performance mode. And if you push this button, you can select every scene you want in this knob. So if I drive this knob up, every performance pad locks up, as I have 4 fingers. You can, of course, set it up with every scene you want. So you can control with one knob 12 scenes if you have 12 scenes. That's only in the Mark II. What you also can do is to mute everything, every performance. So if I have my track and I raise up every performance mode to make a build up like this, and I have the option to mute every performance pad I had. You see, it's still in the range. I have activated them, but you don't hear them because they are all muted. So, and the great stuff on the Mark II is for performance is that you can reach this button on other scenes. So I can go in the mute mode, I can mute the tracks and also use my performance pads. So if I make a build up like this, I can raise up. And got a right transition in the live situation. If you don't use it in a live performance mode, you don't need that in that way, I think. It's just a special thing for live performances or jams. It's one of the small things that makes the Mark II a little bit better than the Mark I. Keep in mind, if you use a performance pad and you switch the scene to maybe mute mode, the performance setting of this pad is still saved. So if you return here, the CD setting is saved. So to unlock this setting, you have simply to push this button. And if you use this button and you change the parameters in of this performance quick performance knob, the settings of this also save. So keep this in mind if you jump around with these pads. So, and in this setup, I used the scenes to switch the sound of my synth. So if I go in the scene edit mode, you will see that I switch the source of this sound, and it switches the notes. Every time the sound switches, it's in a chromatic way, and you can hear that's a lightly shift of the notes, and you can play it live. So you have this pattern of your synth, and you simply switch the notes like a transpose mode on another track, but the room has no transpose mode, so I use the scene here to transpose the single tracks. So leave the scenes and let's have a listen. And the other scene you see here, it's like on the other setup for the kick. And if I push this scene and we hear the kick, it's like a high pass on this track. And you got an idea where you can use the scene. It's a nice way, but I don't think on a scene the high pass is the best way. Use the fills. It's more reachable in a live situation or performance pads because of the quick performance mode. I liked it to switch the sounds. That's, I think, is the best way to use the scenes. Of course, you can make dramatically changes, but I'm more the fan of use another pattern and set up there the sounds. But that's only my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe my channel. Leave me a comment if you want to have more tutorials and have more ideas for tutorials. Thank you and have a good night.